Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show Films. I am Sen, your executive producer. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I particularly want to thank our $25 tier supporters over at our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. Those being Jebby Alexander, Samantha Bates, and L. Thank you for your support over the years, without which we wouldn't be able to do nearly as many of the things we do now. And those of you watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're live. Yeah, get it way ahead. Yeah. See, that's the thing. At some point, and I don't know when, Mara went from doing it to bother me to doing it to bother everyone else. Because it never bothered me. It only bothers other people. I'm Zen, and I'm playing Zen, the Path of the Wolf Warrior. Wherein you also fuck everybody, but with a different emotional emphasis. With consent. Wonder if it's probably not even called Europe anymore. Honestly, it's quick. Someone asks. you, you thought it was bad when your players asked for the names of all your NPCs. Yeah, we. Yeah, we're eventually gonna go home and sleep. But I was teaching Tawasiki hardcore parkour. I don't regain any mind, but I'm only down one now. Nice, Tawasiki. Oh, hang on. They can only hear me. Why can they only hear me? God fucking damn it. Okay, they should be able to hear you now because
Okay.
so OBS does this thing where even though I've got it set to listen to the default audio, um, and this is my default audio, it only recognizes that this is my default audio when I have the audio output capture like input menu open. If I leave it on default and hit OK, it'll stop listening to it unless I switch it to the headphones. I don't know why. Now everyone else can be heard. Sorry, everyone missed literally everything that was being said up until now, except for what I was saying.
Oh no.
Because OBS is dumb.
Well, fortunately, all they missed was the opening spiel where we explain everything and give all of our happy pride and fuck particular individuals, etc.
For edification of the podcast, let's go ahead and just reintroduce everybody.
Yeah. We'll just go ahead and do the names over again. So for the reminder of anyone who might be listening, I am William or Shawnee, and I am the story guide. And joining me today, we have Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I am playing Waya, the Path of the Coyote Tinkerer.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Tawasiki, who is a Path of the Salmon Seeker.
And Sen.
Zen, I'm playing Zen, the Path of the Wolf Warrior.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Nadi, who is a Path of the Falcon Seeker.
And Holly.
I'm Holly. I'm playing Chala, who is a Path of the Falcon Whisperer.
And while I won't do the whole spiel over again, I will note because we are using their software and it is relevant. This stream is powered by Sirenscape. But
they found a pod person. They need help.
Yes,
you found a
person in a stasis pod. They need your assistance. Picking up the next day. Each of you can regain an amount of body, mind, or soul equal to your endurance, wisdom, or will, and then can roll those stats to regain more.
I didn't regain. I regained. I'm only one down, but I failed my roll. Tawasiki regained 4 of mind.
Yep. I'm only down a little bit on soul, and that's it.
Yeah. So, the morning comes, and all of you awaken in the various places that you have slept last night. I'm assuming Nadi in the barracks.
Correct.
And Zin and Tawasikik outside or in the house?
In the house.
Yeah, we made it back to the house, definitely.
And then Woya probably at her place and Tala at her place.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that Liv was brought to Tawasikik and Zin's place for the night.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, of that household, which of you two are up first?
Zen.
Yeah, that tracks.
So what are you up to in the morning when you wake up?
Doing my morning exercises.
Nerd.
Nobody. The same thing he does every morning, which is get. The same thing she does every morning, which is get up, start exercising, get her morning warm up out of the way, and then depending on what may or may not have been arranged previously, either start working on breakfast or head out and do just like a brief morning, just check on the neighborhood while people are still waking up.
Do you just sort of head out? Do you check on anyone else in the house before you go?
Yeah, no, she just checks and sees how checks on the status of the house, and then decides from there basically.
Yeah. When you go to check on Liv, you find them with the their equipment you sort of like lean in the door to sort of check on them, and they have like all of their equipment that is not the clothes that they are wearing laid out on the bed that was provided for them, and they sort of like knelt down and have their head bowed as they mutter something under their breath, something that you don't understand the language, so you're not certain exactly what she is saying, but you hear some of those proper nouns that she had mentioned previously pass her lips several times, specifically Odin, Thor, a couple of other of those proper nouns, Aesir, different names and proper nouns.
Wait until there's a pause of some kind, and then knock on the side of the door.
She looks over her shoulder when you knock. And looks up and nods to you.
And I will sign. I'll just sort of check in on them via sign language, because we did teach them some rudimentary sign.
Yeah.
Do you need anything?
They just sort of sign back that they're just offering a prayer to. They sign the word for spirits, but you understand that their word is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But this is the closest approximation they have. Before their morning exercises.
I'll let them know that I just finished my own morning exercises, and that they're welcome to use my equipment if they like, and that I'm just going out to do a quick neighborhood patrol, and I'll be back in a bit. And I will show them to where I do my exercises, and then I'll head out.
And then next up in that house, Tawasiki.
Yep.
What are you up to when you wake up?
I'm gonna stay. Well, things happened. I'm gonna check my messages. I'm still underneath the blankets. My Nisa.
Are you looking for communication from anyone in particular?
Yeah, Aquani.
Yeah. What was the last thing you sent to her?
I think I said something to the effect of we found something very interesting that they were guarding those eels. I don't think I told him specifically about Liv. I don't think I sent that to her, but
yeah. They sort of respond eventually. They've responded by the time you check your messages that that sounds intriguing, and they're looking forward to hearing more.
Yeah. Good. And then I am going to close the messages and wander out, still covered in a blanket, to see if there is food available, if our visitor has wandered off and left a trail of destruction and/or anything else.
Yeah, there is definitely breakfast that has been laid out. It looks like some people have already helped themselves to it. Most of the family is probably out and about at this point.
Yep.
But you can hear the sounds of exertion noises and exercises in the like exercise area outside.
Okay. I'm gonna grab something and then go wander out that way.
Yeah. You step outside, and you find Liv in her full armor, which looks very hot, especially now that the sun is up. And she is performing what look like mostly bodyweight exercises. She's doing like a lot of shadow combat against just going through her motions with her sword and shield. A lot of like push-ups, sit-ups, running in laps. Just like from what you would surmise, she's trying to acclimate herself to the environment by doing bodyweight exercises in the heat.
I'm gonna sit down off to the side. I don't think I'm really I've suddenly realized that the only way I have to communicate with this person is sign, and she's just barely learned it. So I have realized that I slightly miss Nadi's sort of very early warning wake-up calls. It has not happened yet, and I'm concerned, so I'm gonna text Nadi.
So Nadi, you were specifically requested not to give those
Right.
major early morning wake up calls.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are certain things desired now?
Justice for Naughty.
I'm not gonna tell you that, don't worry.
Good.
So what is the message?
We
that
don't
Nadi
want
is-
them getting a big head.
So what is the message that Nadi has sent early in the morning? They've definitely been awake for a while at this point, but have been requested
Yes.
not to mentally message everyone.
Something to the effect of I don't know where Zin is, but our visitor is still here. I'm keeping an eye, but what's happening?
Did you send it to everyone or just Naughty?
To Nadi.
You get back. I think Nutty is very, very Hemingway-esque when it comes to typing.
Okay, I don't know what
Type
that
communications. Very short, clipped, brusque.
means.
So, okay, not much. Just waiting on everyone.
Okay. I'll make sure she doesn't die of heat stroke.
Okay.
You gonna continue to sit there?
Roll me a perception check real quick, Talasiki.
Sure. Four successes. I am extremely perceptive.
So something you notice as Liv continues practicing, they're not getting tired. In fact, quite the opposite. They seem to be building up and getting more used to the environment literally over the course of their exercises, as if they are literally in real time adapting to the environment they're experiencing. and you see them sweat less as time goes on. But they don't get exhausted like they would if they were suffering heat stroke at that point. They're just not exerting themselves as much.
Huh. Do I think this is something to do with the gift? Because the stranger had like sort of that purple glow.
Yeah, they have purple
situation.
eyes.
Yeah. Is that activating now? Like it sometimes does with when people use it?
It doesn't seem obvious and out front. She does sort of like the sweat that she does have is sort of steaming off of her.
That's not normal.
Go ahead and roll me investigation
Okay.
or knowledge, whichever is better.
Investigation is better. 4 successes
So this strikes you as familiar and also raises a couple of questions. This is very similar, kind of a different take on what you would normally have heard stories and records of, an ability called River's Flow, which allows the wielder to alter their own body on the cellular level, to adapt to their environment, change their appearance, do whatever needs to be done in order to adjust whatever they need to. You suspect they're probably using something very similar to this ability to adapt themselves to the heat and temperature and climate of this environment. That raises some questions. Because they said that the animal that they undertook their you forget the word that they used for it, but their personal
was a wolf.
That was a wolf, which is not associated with that ability in Makasung.
No. I'm gonna.
That would be mechanically that's an endurance ability, and the path of the wolf is associated with strength and will.
Uh-huh.
Which sort of raises the question of, do different animals in different regions associate with different paths because of something going on, or is it a cultural thing? Is it how the culture views that animal that changes how the animal reacts to the Adenadi, or something in between? It's a question that is interesting to you, potentially.
Okay. I'm gonna file that away. And text to the whole group at this point. I told Akwani that we found something interesting. She's curious about it. To the whole group.
There's no response from Zen, mostly because Zen doesn't have a response to it right now.
Do the message of Mesa Communications have, I realize emojis are not a thing, but something similar?
Mm-hmm. I feel like symbolic communication is probably something that does develop with this kind of technology. So
okay, then something that is the equivalent of a brain and question mark. Send.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. One person said yes, that's enough.
Waya just sends back a thumbs up emoji.
She's adapting. It's different than wolves normally are here.
I am so slow today. I just figured out what you were doing. I'm sorry. It's been rough.
No.
Okay.
It's all good. It's the first of all, it's the middle of the year, so we're already tired of this year by about 6 months. Also hot.
Tala will, who's more intelligent than I am, will send back a thumbs up emoji as well.
The news cycle is just draining, so we're even more tired of the year than we would normally be.
Yep. All right. Boop-a-doo-boop.
Do you also loop Liv in on this?
What?
Do you also loop Liv in on this? As you did last time.
I think
I'm
you
just
have enough
curious.
successes to.
No, the question is, we're talking about Liv, so
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking. No, yeah, they would.
Okay.
Hey, we're all here.
Good
Liv sort
morning.
of pauses their exercises for a second and looks up. Ah, it is good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Morning. From where the hell am I? You just hear Zen. Zen's trying to figure out. Zen has gotten up onto a rooftop at some point and has lost a sign of what street he's on.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Somewhere in the neighborhood.
Feeling up to meeting some people today?
Depends on who. Completely missing that it's not about them.
Well, let's. Let's maybe work on. Let's maybe work on helping Liv communicate with people more before we have her meeting people.
Yeah, communication is done person to person.
I actually might have something that I'm working on for that. It's gonna take. Liv, I might need to sit with you and how much do you know about coding?
I have some technical skill back home, although I suspect that our technology does not quite work the same way, so I'll have to learn a bit.
Because I think I might have a way to streamline at least her understanding individuals that aren't us. If I can figure out an instant translator for a second eye.
You'd have to. I mean,
Wow.
you'd have to know the language that you're translating into, wouldn't you?
Which is where Liv comes in.
Oh, I see.
I would be willing to work on this. I think it would be very useful, not just for myself, but for the rest of my crew, should we find them later.
We should also probably look at some maps and just get an idea of show you where you've come from, at least as far as we're aware, and see if you can help us piece together the rest of that information.
Are we worried about somebody else potentially finding them first?
If they are in stasis pods like what Liv was in, then not necessarily, because it didn't seem like anybody was going to try to figure out how to open it until we forced their hand. So they've probably got a little while before anyone gets released.
I mean, that is not to say that hands cannot be forced elsewhere.
Right.
Yeah. This one was because, one family was trying to hide it from everyone else.
We don't have
Keep
enough.
it then.
We don't really have enough information about the others to be worried about it. I guess
No. How big was your crew? How many people are we looking for potentially?
There were 24, but I don't know
Oh.
if all of them survived.
I feel like if more than one of these pods were found were found by any group of people, word would start to spread.
Do
It's hard to hide.
Yeah, they're pretty big, so
you remember where? Because you said your ship got sabotaged. Do you remember where that happened? Like when? Maybe we can triangulate back or something.
well, that's hence the geography lesson later.
We had our ship had just been able, its sensors had just been able to detect the presence of shore. It wasn't within visual range at the time that the ship went down, partially because the ocean is still a mass of Thor's fury. So the journey was not well for visibility. Part of why our ship was built specifically for the crossing.
Ooh, the other thing we could do potentially. I mean, once you can communicate and etc. 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 But we know you were originally found in the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. If we go and inquire, maybe they will have a better understanding of how you got from your ship, if there was wreckage or a crash or something, or like tracks. I don't know.
Well, what we can do is we can reach out to through the council. We can reach out to the family that brought Liv here and see who their contacts within the Haudenosaunee are, and start there.
Yeah, that's my concern. The reason that I brought that up is like getting acclimated, learning how to communicate. We're not talking about a couple of weeks. We're talking about months to potentially years.
Yes, but getting a working understanding and with what Woya has in mind, possibly just the ability to understand what people are saying, won't take that long.
How long are we talking about?
The languages of my homeland of Midgard are diverse across various nations, and translation work has been done much over the many nations. The basics of linguistics are something that I have some experience with, and even though I am unfamiliar with your scripts and language, I feel a matter of the work would be counted in days. Whether that in fact would take days or potentially weeks depends on how much time we allow ourselves for rest.
I think once I would much rather have Liv enough of a working understanding to be able to communicate and navigate on her own should she be separated, than for us to rush heading out to find people that we don't have any information on, and risk having her be in a disadvantaged position should she get separated from us.
Is that, I mean, I get that. Is learning that stuff that could be done on the road?
Once a basic understanding,
Because we're not traveling a short distance.
You know, once a basic understanding is grasped, or you're capable of being grasped, yeah, we can start teaching things on the road. I just don't think that Willia is going to want to program a translator while we're moving.
It would definitely be easier if I was allowed to stay still.
Just think of it as a challenge.
Don't you pressure me.
I'm not pressuring. I'm just saying it's a new and exciting opportunity.
But to your point, Naughty, we can start working on gathering information before. Not all of us need to be present helping Liv learn what they need to know. We can start gathering information well before we need to leave. Or well before we're ready to leave.
Speaking of, I'm curious. Your paths with the Adenati are different than ours because Wolf doesn't grant you can do you are like adapting to the air
Uh,
and the
yes.
as you were practicing.
Oh,
The gift of the Einherjar is the one of the many abilities granted by the Path of the Wolf from my home.
that's not too. I mean, Tausi, where I come from, like in Kitawagi, the path of the wolf is the wolf. But as I understand it, in Cahokia, my abilities would normally be referred to as the path of the bison. So it's not too terribly dissimilar.
I mean, it's associated with a certain animal. Like
Yeah.
multiple animals might be associated with the same path, but this is the same animal being associated with different paths, which is a little odd.
Zin's not that smart. They're just associating what seems like a similarity.
It's different, I'm curious. Just
Well, in Midgard, in particular, in the Nordlands where I come from, the wolf is associated with endurance in harsh environments and the strength to push through obstacles and adversaries. And so the abilities that one is granted when they undertake their rites of passage by the Gotterdammerung are associated with those traits.
that's different than anything I've ever heard of.
I didn't think it was.
But it'll be good you have that probably.
Seen as cultural perspective.
Understand
So-
that much of my home is still wrapped in harsh winter, and according to historical records, often was even prior to the Gotterdammerung. The wolf's tenacity in surviving those dangerous places, despite being relatively small compared to some of the other beasts, and relying on its endurance and its strength of its family to achieve what it wants, has etched its presence in the minds of my people.
So what are we getting up to today?
They're changing.
Yes. That's Moya working on tech.
I plan on deep diving into breaking apart a second eye and then figuring out how to how to insert that programming. Actually, I might be able to, once we get it more established, I might be able to put it into implants. I'm already contemplating augmented reality via implant instead of the headset. So it'd just be another layer that I could add to it.
Possibly. So I guess coding and geographic information and geography lessons for Liv, and information gathering for anyone that's not doing that.
Sure.
Sounds like a party.
We can also start with some basic language lessons for Liv, like our alphabet and things like that.
Who wants to come with me to shake down a family related to a council member?
Oh, I do.
Me.
Oh, dang it. I mean,
Tala does.
Where did you think Nutty was gonna go?
So Nadi and Tala with me.
is Nadi just following Tala?
No, strictly speaking, Nadi is following Zin.
Neither. Nutty is corrupt council member thing to do.
Okay.
To pose.
Fair.
It doesn't. The other parts don't hurt, but those are more realized after the fact.
And so Tala and Nadi with me, Woya and Tawa with Liv.
Sure.
Okay.
That works for me.
All right. We'll meet up at Burnt. Which is either me making a sound that we can then insert a location with, or Zin getting hit in the face by a stray bird. One of the two.
The answer is yes.
Thoroughly acceptable in either way.
¿Por qué no los dos?
The answer is both.
I would probably
Sorry,
need directions.
Sorry, a pigeon tried to fight me.
I will probably need directions in where to meet with Woya and Tawasikik if I am not familiar with the layout of this place.
Well, I can take you because I'm with her. We meeting at your place, Woya? Probably best for like equipment and things.
Yeah, I will go ahead and let my family know that we are expecting visitors. That's not a problem. I just want to give them a heads up, especially considering things.
Okay, sure.
Understandable.
I don't think
I
Tawasikik knows
have
what that
gathered
means.
that I am an extreme oddity among your people.
Yeah, sweetie, your skin tone is...
You look like a corpse.
Eerie.
Thank you. Somebody else said it. Thank you. I didn't want to have to say it. Thank you.
Here for you.
Understandable. From my personal perspective, all of you seem to be cast in stone and metal.
How poetic.
I'll accept that.
All right, we're taking the scenic route. I'm grabbing her arm and we're going. Because you haven't seen the city in the day now. And I'm going to start leading her around. I am taking the security. I'm walking fast. I'm showing her the sights.
Let's show you colors you've never seen before. Wah!
But I am taking the scenic route to give Woya time to break the news.
Mm-hmm. So Woya,
And also
how does that conversation go?
She will... I'm assuming she hasn't really been out of her room yet. Depending on what time this is, I assume not terribly early.
Yeah, it was like
late morning,
like mid morning. Yeah, mid to late morning.
So she will send a message to her sister's Nisa because she knows she's not going to be out of her room. And then she will go find her parents to talk to about it. And Grandma, if Grandma's around today.
The three of them appear to be in the central room, just having morning conversations over food.
We will grab a cup for tea and then sit and grab a piece of fruit. Hi. So I have some visitors coming over, and I felt it would be best if I prepared everybody. I know this is rough first thing in the morning, especially since I haven't even said hi yet. but it's kind of big.
Oh, says your father, sort of looking up from their food. Someone important coming over? Something related to your Seattle work, I'm assuming?
Okay.
Important is
Yes.
yeah, definitely important. I can certainly say I've never met anybody else like them. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off. Tawasiki is coming over with an individual we met yesterday named Liv. I need everybody to be on their best behavior, and please try not to stare. They look a little bit different. A lot different than us.
The word foreigner doesn't exist in our language, I assume. Or it probably does,
no,
because
it
there
does
are
exist,
other languages.
but it's
yeah,
usually
other
like
nations.
someone from a different nation,
Yeah.
not someone who looks nothing like anyone you've ever seen.
They are foreign to Makasang.
I would. They are not from Makasang.
Interesting.
And not from any of the empires south of the Mexican border that Julia does not remember the names of, but Woya would.
What does that leave left? Says your grandmother.
Believe it or not, she says she came from across the sea.
There is dramatic interest. Your family is a little bit more composed than spitting tea out, but you imagine
That's unfortunate.
You imagine in a family more close to Zin's temperament, there would have been some spat tea.
But her skin is very pale. Her hair is very, very red. And the resemblance to a corpse is not too far off. Is how I would... the best way I could describe it.
Interesting.
She also does not speak Chahi, which is something we are trying to work around. I have thoughts on a potential augmented reality translator, but it's going to take time and it's going to take resources that I don't know if I have at the moment. Actually, I don't even think I have an extra spare second eye. You know what? That's fine.
You hear from your sister's room. I've got a spare.
Do you remember how I returned the... I didn't return the drone. I didn't return the drone. I'll take it, but you have to take something from me.
Okay.
Which is this apology that I have lost your drone?
You didn't lose the drone.
Oh, no, that I have...
you repaired
the
it.
drone got shot.
It got shot and you repaired it, yeah.
So it's fixed. I will say that. Looks a little bit different because I couldn't find the right paints. But your drone's in one piece now. If you ever loan me anything that's as customized as that to your brain ever again, I will just break it. That how in the world? I'm not getting into this argument.
I like how
yes.
how quickly that turned from apology to accusation.
She opens the door and looks out. Look, you asked for it.
I did. I didn't realize I was being punished, but I did.
Beggars can't be choosers, she says as she walks over, takes the thing. And
I like how quickly Woya lost control of a fight Woya didn't even need to have.
Yep. Yep.
She sort of looks it over. I was expecting it to get hurt. You were asking for it for Carly So business. I assumed it was going to get damaged. He says as he looks it over. Nice repair work, though.
Thank you.
Based on what you were talking about, I'm assuming you need an AR?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one of those. Hang on. She sort of walks in. It's not really my color. I hope they like black, she says as she walks up, as she grabs the like blackened visor and pulls it out from her room.
The vibe that I'm getting, black is going to be perfect.
Fair enough. She just hands you the AR set. And yeah, it is very like plain and sleek. It is this sort of minimalist art style that is not super common in Cahokia, but not unheard of. It's very like thin lines, not a lot of flash. You can see why it's not your sister's style. And yeah, the rim and the construction work that is not the lenses is just jet black.
I can make this work, thank you. Thank you.
Happy to help.
I still think I do need to go to, the Chiza to head over to Chiza to grab, some components and some parts, but yeah, this is fantastic, thank you.
Overall, it's not a super long walk from one house to another, so I am assuming at this point is roughly when there's a knock on the door.
We will go open it.
Yeah, Tawasikik and Liv are at the door.
Hello?
Boy, Liv is in her full like fur-lined armor and wolf pelt cloak.
Yeah. I have also slightly been showing off our new best friend slash deep curiosity slash, etc. Because that's kind of fun. So we have probably gathered attention on our way over
there's
here.
definitely a few people who you can see in the street behind the pair of them who are just sort of gawking.
So, ready for us to come in, or?
Oh, yeah, by all means. And she will do introductions. This is my grandmother Niana. This is my mother Pagi, and my father Waka. And the pain in my ass over there is Nazina.
Have I been here before, do you think? Because Tawasikik is she's not been super friendly and like outgoing so far. So I don't know if I would have actually been over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. I'll sign over then.
And Liv answers something in their language, which one of you will have to translate as a similar like pleasure to meet you. My name is my name is Liv Eriksdotter. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, kind of thing. And yeah, your family is definitely surprised and intrigued by the appearance of your new arrival.
What's the vibe here?
I feel like the family here is very I will say simultaneously curious and reserved in weird ways. They are both people who don't like to have a whole lot of attention and don't really express emotions dramatically very well. but at the same time are intensely curious and intellectual and love learning new things, discovering new things, experimenting with things. So it's an interesting combination of intellectual curiosity and also a desire not to make too much of a scene.
Okay.
I can appreciate that. So we can head to my room, she will say as she just grabs the AR device and
In fact,
leads
your
them
your
that
little
way.
your little sister is the most outgoing person in your family by a wide margin.
Older sister.
Older sister, yes. Older
Yes.
sister is the most outgoing person in your family.
Fascinating. I feel like this explains some things I was thinking it's not. This is different. Okay. Yeah, sure. Lead the way.
So her room is small. Uh, size-wise, not actually small. It's the amount of space that is able to be maneuvered within that is small
Okay.
because there is bed, dresser, and the rest is workspace.
Okay.
And there is equipment all over the walls. There are diagrams. It definitely looks like a hoarder's nightmare, or wet dream, depending. And she currently has like 3 unfinished projects on a table, which she just sort of picks up and stacks on top of one another and then sets that down.
Whoa. You have a whole setup here.
Eh, when my family sort of has a whole thing going on, and whenever one of us gets projects don't leave our brain, and even right now I'm thinking of the ways to put together those 3 projects into actual viable technology, and it's a lot. It can be sometimes. So yeah.
As
Yeah, that like 50% of that just flew over my head. All right.
as Liv sort of steps into the room, you are reminded how big she is. Because she has to like duck her head under the roof of the door.
How tall is she?
She is like
Half a foot taller than Zen.
Something.
6'6".
yeah, she's like 6'6".
Oh, so she's a foot and a half taller than Wea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so she will start with an alphabet and she will start showing because coding is a language in and of itself, she will start trying to teach that as well, at least the coding that the AR device is built upon, to see if the 2 of us can reach, like, if we can look at it and say, yeah, we can make this work.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me technology or computers.
Normal diff.
Yeah, normal difficulty.
What the hell? Let's spend 2 mind to make one of those a critical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with
4 successes and a critical.
one of which is a critical. Let me then go ahead and add some.
I feel like Woya very quickly gets engrossed in this, and I would like to slip away at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, you can very easily just sort of slip away as Liv and Woya sort of begin the process of trying to work on something.
I'll say something to the not over the mind link, but just sign something to the equivalent of "You've got this. I'm gonna just get some air."
So she's going to suffer increased difficulty because she's dealing with technology that's unfamiliar to her. But she's still going to do all right. And she's going to spend 2 mind to turn both of those into 12s. And
Oh, nice.
get 2 more crits.
Reminder that the audience can't see the dice rolls, so vocalize the number of successes.
Yeah, so she has gotten 6 successes, 2 crits. So between the two of you, you start to break down the formation of the code of the AR. And fortunately, while the language is different, the base building blocks are similar enough to technology that she has worked with, that she can learn quickly. And she quickly begins to create a series of characters that represent the writing system that she is used to from her home, which seems to be composed of similar runes to the ones that were on the front of her stasis pod.
How dissimilar do they look compared to the runes, or like the symbols that we use for letters?
It's completely. It's like comparing Roman and Cyrillic. It's
Okay.
like they're very different. There might be some that look kind of similar from a glance, but they're dramatically different.
I foresee a lot of work ahead of the two of us.
Oh yeah. Na. So, you are going to be at this for a while. Are there any questions that you have for idle conversation while you're working on it with her?
I think she'd definitely like to, like, this is a person she now knows she's going to be spending a ton of time with, even just outside of, Kaliso business, and getting this together. So she wants to know a bit about her life, asking about family, about things like that. And I know this is like sort of just open broadcasted into the sort of just open broadcast into the mind link, but yeah, she wants, she wants to be able to get to know the person that has entered into the Kaliso.
And so yeah, so the rest of you who are in the same mental room are basically privy to a conversation that takes place between Woya and Liv, wherein the two of them basically just share basic information about who they are personally, what they enjoy, what they do for entertainment, etc.
What do we learn about Liv?
So some basic information that comes across. Liv, as sort of you picked up possibly from previous conversations, Liv is from a region that she names Midgard, which presumably is a continent-sized region similar to Makasung based on how she describes it. And she more specifically is from a nation that is known more commonly in Midgard as most people refer to it as the Nordlands, or because it is usually a small collection of more diverse and individualized nations that all collectively get referred to as Nordlands. the group, like it's sort of like the freelance in Makasung, where it's like there isn't really one controlling power of that region. There are just several different nations. But apparently, a nation by the name of Albion has been reaching out from its small island to try and take more land to make up for the failing resources, and that has led to tyrannical outreach to try and control other regions, including Nordlands, several different nations in the Nordlands falling under Albion control. And the Empire of Albion is aggressive, tyrannical, and does not have as much value for human life as she would, as she expresses that others in Midgard seem to have. The particular chance that she took was one that was essentially, it doesn't look good for Midgard as a continent if the way that Albion is spreading, because they seem to have taken a very effective approach at conquering, where they will very rapidly establish as much of a foothold as they can on a nation's essential resources, because those are much more scarce in Midgard than they seem to be here in Makasang. She implies, based on her understanding of geography, that Midgard as a whole is generally more north than Makasang is, and seems to lie closer to, based on the maps that you've shown her, the permanent ice line on Makasang, which sort of explains that comparison of a lot of Midgard is still very wintry all the time. So a lot of resources are more scarce, and the nations therein tend to be smaller. But it seems like Albion hit just the right level of momentum to control all of their region, and then start spreading and start grabbing up smaller nations as they go, taking vital resources and using that to choke smaller nations into submission. And you learn that Liv was part of a small group of people who were looking to try and find, honestly, just a place to escape to, because not everyone wants to keep waging a potentially fatal war against Albion to try and claim their home back. And with it not looking likely that they were going to win, she and several others spent a lot of time designing at least one scout ship that could try and cross the stormy ocean to try and see if what their scientific projections told them was that there was another landmass far away and more likely to be favorably climated for growing things and for environment and for surviving. And so they built a ship that could cross the storms in the seas, and wanted to try and see if that was true, and were struck by sabotage when they were almost there. Aside from that, you learn that she has a particular fondness for linguistics and cartography. She likes not just drawing maps, but trying to be as detailed as she can with her maps. She has a fondness for geographical outcrops and unique features that she can try and incorporate into her map making. And she likes exploring, meeting new people, and trying to figure things out, which is part of why she was one of the ideal candidates for one of the leaders of this expedition. and she has a dab hand at technology and is a decent combatant. But in her estimation, most people from her, at least her region of the Nordlands, are decent combatants, even those who are not soldiers by trade.
Okay, so what did we learn about Wuya? Because this was you did say.
We also learned stuff about Woya.
So the things that you learn about Woya, everybody now knows that she has an older sister, that she has a fairly well-loved competitive rivalry with. They push each other to do.
Continue.
Okay, can I be heard now?
Yeah, no, you
Okay,
could be heard
okay.
the first time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything froze on my end, so I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
good.
No,
Yeah.
you're good.
So they have a very competitive rivalry together. They push each other to do better, or at least that's how Woya sees it. And then she lives with her mother, her father, and her grandmother. Has devoted most of her life to technology and the advancement of. However, definitely had a bit of a wild streak with Tala in her younger days. She actually didn't get into drugs until she met Tala, and she does not say that in a bad way.
You're welcome.
Because she said she admits that a lot of her best work and best ideas have come out of drug-induced bouts with Tala, where she's just been like, hold on, and had to write something down in the middle of just completely tripping. And you also learn that she has struggled with some of the more basic, generally seen more feminine style things, like sewing and any textile craft she's not good at. She's never been able to do it. It just doesn't work in her hands. She does better with metal and plastic. And trying to think of other things. She hasn't lived too crazy of a life, especially compared to Liv. She admits to Liv that she joined. She signed up to become a Suyata because she felt that there was more good she could do than just advancing science to help with cybernetics. She wants to be able to help people on the whole.
Mm-hmm. And one other thing that you learn about Liv from conversations with her, she's a bit of a polyglot. She likes to take a dab hand at a lot of basically anything she can get a hand on. Mechanically speaking, Liv has a lot of skills that have 1 or 2 ranks in them, but only a handful that have more than that. She's able to do a lot of things, but she's particularly specialized in mostly like linguistics and things that and computer work and navigation and stuff like that. She's also halfway decent at most types of combat, as you would expect. But there's only a handful of skills on the list that she has 0 ranks in, but most of them she only ever has 1 or 2. And as that conversation continues and you all learn a little bit more about her, that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break.
Remember, when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do. Grab some food, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. And we're back. A dinosaur story.
I already did it. It was silent and no one else heard it, but I know in my heart.
I wasn't. Yeah, I was trying to say yes. You did do it when no one else could
did.
hear it. Yeah.
I mean,
I rest
we
on
could,
my laurels.
We could hear it. The audience couldn't hear it.
Yes. I don't do it for them.
There you go.
I'm gonna roll a quick language check for
Now that we're back, I'm going to grab a
slightly
drink.
easier difficulty, but still harder than normal because she did pretty good with the computer's check. All right, Liv.
Well done, well done.
So with 4 successes, one of which is critical. You get this is going to take time, but you get the feeling that within a couple of days, you and Liv will be able to complete a software that will at least translate anything that she hears into runes and words that she recognizes. And with a little bit more effort, might be able to provide her with phonetics on how to say an appropriate Chahi response. Which will help with communication, even if it'll make her kind of stilted as she just tries to phonetically sound out the word until she learns it.
What you're saying is soon Liv will indeed be able to understand the words laugh and love.
I'd like to cast Defenestration on Sam.
There's a window right there.
But yeah. While that's happening, and while the rest of you are sort of learning a little bit more about Liv by virtue of psychic conversation, what's everybody else up to?
I was gonna reach out to our handler and see if we can get. It was the. I'm gonna ask this every single time. It was the Nisut family that had acquired Liv?
The Nisot family, yeah.
Yeah, the Nisot. Yeah. So reach out to our handler and see if we can get an audience with Counselor Wakuni.
Yep. You reach out to Chipa and relay your request.
Preferably with Counselor Arinya there.
May I assume that this is related to your previous mission regarding the recovery of the individual from across the ocean?
It is.
Excellent. That will provide a bit of extra weight that I think Counselor Arania will be able to put forward to ensure this meeting. I will relay the request to Counselor Arania, and we will see what can be arranged.
Thank you. And while waiting for information on that, do we all have contact information with dude from dude Tawasikik is talking to, or does only Tawasikik have that?
I don't know. Would Tawasikik have shared Akwani's information?
If you asked, I think she would have.
Yeah. Yeah, I will actually just via the Nisa message Tawasikik. Hey, can I get Akwani's number?
Oh, sure. I was actually gonna go talk to them.
Oh, well, we might see you then soon.
Okay. Are they talking to the counselor too?
No. We're just waiting to hear back on a meeting.
All right. Well, I was gonna go do that while you all were waiting for things and tinkering for ages and etc.
Okay. No, then just ask them if they know. Ask them if they can find anything about where the Nisot family found Liv.
Sure. Yep.
Or if they can
was going to.
Yeah, or if they can find out about it.
Yep.
I will
Will
note
do.
that the group of you did ask last session where to Counselor Wakuni where the pod was found, and it was said that it had been traded to them by an individual from the Harunosani.
Yep.
Yeah. The question that I'm going to be asking them when we have our meeting is, who is that individual and how can we contact them?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm planning on asking Aquani if they've heard of strange rumors of weird, corpse-colored people anywhere else.
Yeah.
With strange abilities.
Or the stasis pods that they came in.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Nadi and Tala have anything they want to work on or try while we're waiting to hear back from Counselor Wakuni.
So yeah, Tala, Nadi, what are the three of you up to?
How long are we waiting? Is it like a few days?
It's probably like for the meeting, you're probably going to hear back in a couple of hours.
Well, they're trying to figure out information that way. Tala's gonna do what she's good at and party and see if she can just try to pick up any little like information. Just
Anything in
in
particular you're
general.
looking for?
Anything that would point us to where the rest of Liv's people would be, if there's any rumors of strange things.
Go ahead and roll me charm.
Also, she's gonna grab Naughty and take them with her. Because they need to learn how to party.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
Is
Beautiful.
this normal success?
Yeah, standard difficulty.
7 successes.
Well done, well done.
So yeah. You are always the highlight of any party that you are in.
Of course.
So, you are absolutely able to have a grand old time. As far as information, as you are sort of combing the party scene that you decide to visit during the day, for any kind of mention of like weird items found or strange looking people being seen, as far as especially like going east towards the Haudenosaunee and the other nation that is there that I'm forgetting the name of. The Haudenosaunee and the Kitawagi Republic. What you don't hear anything that would like immediately twig as yes, that's exactly what I am looking for. That is definitely another sighting of one of Liv's crew. You do hear that there is an increase in tension from the Haudenosaunee and Kitawagi sides of the of Makasan. It seems like the diplomatic tensions that have sort of been rising recently and have been up with recent events that have sort of like had the nations on edge, and some doomsayers are saying it's going to be another all tribes war. Other people are just like, no, people need to calm down. It's not going to get that. We never want to see another all tribes war again, etc., etc. There's something that has Kitawagi and Haudenosaunee kind of spooked. They're not as open for communication as they have been in the past, and the diplomatic excursions and missions and conversations that have been going on have been a little bit more clipped and tense, and there's a lot less information and conversation flowing between Harunosani, Kitawagi, and the Freelance. Especially Cahokia. So it doesn't give you any direct information, but it tells you something's up.
Oh, it helps. And how's Naughty react to a party scene?
Have you ever seen a wallflower?
Oh yes.
Yep.
No, I'm sorry, she doesn't let that happen.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. They find the quietest corner with a good vantage point. That's the key. It has to give you a good vantage point. And planting their ass in it.
And then after a while, Tala will come by. You're coming with me now.
Yep.
Grabs your hand.
But where are we going?
This way. Come on.
Oh, okay. But I could see everything from
No, you can see it better this way. Come on.
No, I
meet the people.
I checked out the whole place, and this is the place with the best.
No, she's dragging you.
Yeah, no, this is as being dragged.
No, you don't even have to talk much. Just hang out.
They're 100% looking behind at the corner. No. Probably trip over a few people along the way. Oh, okay. Okay, fine.
And she will introduce Naughty to drugs. Whether they take them is up to them. She's not forcing it down you.
Right.
Pressure.
She would not do that.
Ha.
Drugs is just a person that you met 5 minutes ago.
Drugs is just the name of a person, yes.
Meet this dude. We call him Drugs.
Why do you call him that? He opens his coat. Oh.
I think I need to make a roll for this. I just
willpower?
No. That doesn't help necessarily. I think they are going to. I think they're going to try to pass it off like depending on the form of it, like smoke, ingested, whatever.
There are a variety of different recreational drugs, some ingested, some smoked. There's a wide variety.
Right. That's not helpful at all.
So here's the question. Do you offer something hallucinogenic, something just generally like depressants or stimulants?
Probably something basic that's not going to mess them up that much since they haven't done this before.
Okay.
Cannabis.
Yeah.
Well, cannabis, as far as we know, originated in East Asia, so probably not that specifically, but something
right.
Coyote.
More importantly, do you tell Naughty what it is?
Probably not. She'd be like, here. You'll like this.
I think, unfortunately, they trust Tala enough
Actually, it would probably exactly be peyote because peyote is definitely a North American native.
Oh, absolutely. So yes, I think that they will. Not having any clue what's about to happen.
I'm so sorry, out of character.
Oh, I'm so on board.
No, you're not. Don't lie to
No,
the
no,
boy.
as a player, I'm so sorry.
Nope. All good.
All right. I leave it up to you. How does Nadi's first experience with specifically peyote go off?
That is a very good question. Give me a second to think about that.
All right. While you're thinking about that, what messages are you sending to Akwani, Hawasikik?
Can we meet up and talk? What has got Liv in sort of a technology sort of stranglehold, making a translation device?
You haven't told Akwani who Liv is.
No, I have not.
Just
Correct.
inserting that name.
Interesting. Yeah, certainly. We can meet here, she says, and they provide a location that is probably somewhere in the middle of Nahikongi.
Okay. I'll head that way and indicate as much. Yeah, meet you there. And in contrast to the previous way, I was like, now I'm trying to be under the radar.
So you try and move unseen and make your way over there. Eventually, you arrive. It's at one of the underground. It's at one of the areas that is immediately above ground from one of the rail stations. So it's very easy to get there. You just hop on the rail, take it over to that station.
Okay.
And you for everyone, because this is the first time I ever described it and mentioned it. There is an underground rail system that traverses the entirety, well, the majority of Cahokia. It doesn't really run under Papanshin or Kapaki Mininon, but it does run under every other district in Cahokia. You make your way down into an underground section beneath most of the mounds, and there is a magnetically operated rail car that is generally available at all times that runs on a regular schedule that is almost always on time, and it's very easy to just sort of step on, take a trip to the entrance that you're looking for. There's a variety of different art that has been decorated in the tunnels for rails to pass by. So there's all sorts of things. There's sections of the tunnel that have been decorated in such a way that while the train passes through it, you get to see art in motion. They sort of designed it to move at the speed of the train. So you get to see these pictures move as the train moves by, these sort of artistic depictions of different stories and just fun imagination at work to decorate the tunnel that the trains pass by.
Your audio quality just like dropped real suddenly, Shawnee.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something to do with your mic or if someone at your house just started torrenting something, but
Mike is doing the same thing that it normally does. I do not know.
Okay.
But yeah. Eventually, you make your way back up from the rail station that you arrive at, and walk over to a quiet garden that is sort of like a resting place for people wandering the Kongi. And you see that Akwani is seated there at a table, having a bit of lunch.
Hey, it sounds like your mic
Hey.
changed.
Yeah.
Was that doing it?
Nope.
No,
Worse.
worse, in fact.
Cool, because I just changed it off of my mic and back to it.
We're hearing you more through Holly's mic than yours.
Switch it to the webcam microphone. Makes it weirder.
Weirder but louder, at least.
Switching
Yeah.
back to the Yeti.
We're still hearing you more from Holly's mic than the Yeti.
It's very echoey.
My gain is over half. Hang on a
I
second.
don't know.
Holly, is your door closed?
Yes.
Technology.
Like I didn't suddenly open the door or anything.
Yeah.
Did it open itself because of the ghost?
As we told Griffin yesterday when the power went out, there are no ghosts in this house.
That you know of.
There are no ghosts in this house.
She lived in a house with ghosts before.
Now it's better.
Yep.
Don't know.
The ghost left your room.
It's my gremlins, probably.
I sit down.
Yeah, you sit down. Yeah, Akwani looks up. Well, good to see you again. It's been a bit.
Yeah.
Glad to see that everything worked out with that job.
Yeah. It's a little touch and go. We had to stall a bit before we had to fight a bunch of eels, but thankfully did not have to
Was Akwani
end
gonna-
up doing that.
Was Aquani going to pay us anything for that, by the way, or did we just do that
No.
for free?
I don't think there's any sort of negotiation. I was
mean-
really into the idea because it sounded cool.
There probably was pay involved, but because we don't really use a money system, there's no reason to denote an amount.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a favor.
So you have indeed
is
probably
getting
been
us-
paid for it.
This is getting us in
Could-
the door with them.
I mean, if it was a favor, could it have been a sword?
You just really want a sword.
Yes, I really want a sword.
I will say that if you want, the pay that you have been given for that job for each of you equates to you can secure one automatic success on an attempt on a wealth roll to acquire an object.
Ooh.
So you have that extra success to just spend on something whenever you try and acquire something.
Excellent. Okay.
That'll work.
No, but turns out the thing they were guarding was really interesting. Liv is the name of
You
the
mentioned that a person?
yeah. Have you heard rumors yet about a corpse-colored person with red hair wandering the city? A giant?
Yes, I have. Word has indeed spread of this mysterious walking dead woman, with a wolf pelt on her shoulders.
Have you perhaps heard of anything like that before? I don't know. You connect people who need jobs with people who need those jobs done, and etc., etc. But how far does that extend?
Well, I'll be honest and tell you that most of my network occupies Cahokia. I've only got so much that reaches outside of the Freelands and the city in particular. But I might be able to dig something up as far as information goes from elsewhere. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Apparently, there may be more of the pods she came from. There's a ship that crashed. and I'm watching their reaction to see if she's like surprised, if this seems like new information. Not new information would be very interesting. Any sort of skills. I'm deliberately trying to not give everything away about the stranger. Like, I haven't mentioned that it is our job to be watching her or anything about like the weird abilities that I noticed, but kind of trying to judge how much of a good idea this is going to be or not.
I appreciate that you only think about that while you're in the middle of doing the thing. Never before.
Listen, the fact is that everyone in the city is going to know that this stranger showed up because, one, I have been spreading the rumor slightly, but two, just like by fact of this person being here, like there was not going to be a way that we could keep this hidden, I feel like. So, Tawasiki is like rolling with it, basically.
Go ahead and roll me investigation.
Okay. Hey, 3 successes.
And
I'll spend a point of mine to make one of those critical. It feels like a good option. Is it a D10 for these dice?
D12.
D12. Thank you. Hey, get another one. 5 successes, 1 crit. Or 4 successes, 1 crit. However math works.
5 successes because 4 successes and then the crit succeeded as well, so it was another success.
Okay.
Yeah. So, with 5 successes, one of which is a crit, Aquani is very hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they've got their business face on.
Yeah.
But you do get the sense that they are thinking and processing. This does seem to be new information for them. But they are very quickly sort of categorizing that, figuring out what that means, and trying to figure out what they can do about it.
Okay.
They do seem moderately surprised, but that surprise never really catches them off guard.
Okay. And when I don't know if my number of successes would get me this, but when you say what to do about this, is it a thing that would put Liv in danger in my estimation, or like what our kind of goal here as a kind of group?
Based on your successes and with the critical success, you don't think that it's like danger. Aquani does not really seem like the kind of person to be like, new thing, I should take control of that. It's more like, I need to figure out what kind of work this is going to end up being and who's going to have to be contacted about what, because there's no way this doesn't become important and this doesn't become something that I'm going to be needed for as a fixer.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if you have contacts.
Oh. I'll have to look into it. That's going to be interesting. This is, as you might surmise, a first for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be something worth looking into.
Well, I'm glad to have surprised you.
Very much. And they're sort of like pulling up their NISA and starting to go through information. Was there something else, or were you just looking to share lunch with me?
A little bit of that, too. Everyone else is busy waiting for things. Or working.
I'm not sure about
Zim,
Naughty's getting high.
I was about to say.
I don't know that.
Actually,
yes, you do, because
what?
Oh!
Yeah, what happens via the mental link as Naughty gets high?
So,
or the mental link as
no.
Naughty gets high?
what I think has happened is Naughty just starts. It's like if you've got your radio on at a volume where you can't. It's a background noise level. You are just hearing unfiltered Naughty's free association train of thought.
Which is, what's the vibe on that?
So if you focus in to listen, it is Naughty is very looking at things like everything is filtered through investigator corkboard style, like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme style mind. Like
Paranoia or just like
incredibly so.
Oh boy.
So are we getting a paranoid investigator corkboard like running thought process of how your hands are currently attached to your arms?
No. Like everything is taking and collating every since we all started working together, all of the pieces of the mission out to the mining place or geology place, mining place, that the arrival of Liv, concerns that the council is lying to the people, like all of this is just constantly being sort of put together and like seeing how it fits into everything, and what it all means. And that is kind of the basis, that and a whole bunch of it underneath that probably doesn't make a lot of sense. There's probably a little bit of the, and I'm sorry, I don't remember what their names are, but the death cult people.
Ihan Gaziwag.
Thank you. And actually, not a little bit, a lot.
Or the Unshadowed, if you just want the
Unshadowed. Thank you.
Okay.
How they fit all of that. They filter all of that conspiracy through every interaction that they have.
So Zen,
and have probably been doing this ever since they've known you.
Zen hanging off of some piece of public art. Just over the waiting, since he's still waiting to hear back. Just over the mental link. Naughty, okay?
It's okay. I'm gonna take care of this, all right? That's all it says.
What did you do, Tala?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
I'm worrying about
She
it.
goes over to. Don't worry about it.
Hello, sweetie. Which club did you take him to?
Them.
Them.
Offers up name of
Them.
club. She'll offer up name of club. I don't know names.
How do you find a nice place to sit and just
No, I've
stare
got-
at the wall for a while?
I've got them.
There's been no response to anybody
Yeah.
saying anything to them, and then all of a sudden, what?
Yeah, Tala's grabbing Naughty. Come on, you're coming
Yep.
with me.
They're just standing in a corner right now.
Yeah, no,
just
she'll
observing things.
drape you over her shoulders. Come on.
Okay, where are we going?
She's taking Naughty back to her place.
Whole
Probably
time, this is being interpreted through the conspiracy paranoia.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Are you and Liv far enough along that you still need that you don't need the psychic link anymore?
No, this psychic link is going to be very relevant for trying to get this translation work done until this thing is finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was fearing that. All right. Well.
Also, the paranoid person has to turn it off.
Well, yeah. Well,
Also that.
yeah. I was gonna say we could probably work our way around to that if possible, but I think right now we're just gonna have to deal with it.
Tala did not think this all the way through.
No,
We're
she
just gonna
didn't.
power through the background noise. Is all we can do.
It's fine.
I
This
find
will
that
be
Liv
fine.
is very good at that.
Oh. Also, do you? No, I'm not gonna ask that.
That was you
Um,
getting more and more distracted by Naughty.
Yeah.
You all right? You seem a little distracted.
Oh, one of my companions is having conspiracy theory runaway thoughts, I think. Possibly. Anyway.
And that's distracting you?
No, I am totally focused.
Aquani just gives you a look.
I can tune them
The
out. They're
arch-
very talkative, like to sort of set up this
You're on a Raven's call. Okay.
yeah. I can tune it out. They're very
I like the idea that
talkative a lot
Aquani
of the
says
time.
that like you're on a Skype call, you're on a Raven's call.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Tala, over the Raven's call. Tala, whatever you did, please don't do it again.
I will not make that promise, but I will promise to be more careful in the future.
More killful.
More killful in the future.
Freudian slip.
Love the Freudian slip there.
It's okay. This is fine.
Here, Naughty, try these bath salts.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, okay? This is her. She's going off in the mental
Yep.
link. No, you got to start somewhere. You met Woya, right? That was some good work I did.
That's not.
You
talk
threw
about
me into. You might as well have thrown me into the middle of the lake.
You made it out
But
alive, and
yes.
I made sure you were safe, okay?
There's
Alive is a relative term, sweetie.
You're living, okay? You're fine.
It's okay. I'm fine.
There is a
Yes, you are.
There's a conversation about relative tolerances that can be had later.
Can I get disconnected from this? I'm on a date.
Why are you on a date? We're working.
With who?
Aquani.
Filter.
They're nice. I like them.
Didn't say they're not.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You're doing conspiracy board thing.
Okay, Naughty,
I
can
can
you
see
try
the
to clear
strings.
your mind?
You're doing conspiracy board things.
I'm doing conspiracy board things. I'm not the one cluttering up the entire mental channel with ramblings.
Huh?
Huh?
I have things under control.
They have
and
no
they
idea.
I'm fairly certain that Naughty has no idea they are publicly broadcasting these thoughts.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Liv and Woya, to you two only do I apologize. Zen says before he starts mentally broadcasting whatever pop song is playing off the billboard he's definitely sitting on, just threw them into Link, loud enough to drown out everything else.
I love that song.
That what it sounds like?
Tala will get Naughty back to her
Yep.
place.
I like the
throw them on
idea
a
that
bed.
even in this alternate timeline, Red Bones Come and Get Your Love is still a thing.
Yep.
All right, Naughty, I need you to try to clear your mind.
Okay.
Just relax.
Hold on.
Oh, jeez.
Well, no, I have to, like,
Have to
it's
make an
fine.
effort, yeah.
It's fine. Good high willpower. I think willpower would probably be that.
Yeah, willpower is
Yeah,
probably the
yeah.
appropriate stat.
Do you think there's a higher difficulty for being
I think
under
yes.
the
I think
effects of
you
a
are at
hallucination?
least up to difficulty 9 for this.
Okay.
Not
All
bad.
right. Things quiet. I feel like it's still there, but
just
it's like in
more
a
in the
very
background, yeah.
dull, very like you have to really focus if you want to make out words.
It's like a muttering in the background now.
Yep.
When it quiets down, the song will stop. I love the two reactions of Naughty. I love that song, and Tawa Seeking. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, Seeking's
Okay.
probably heard that song played and never known
Right.
what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
just know it's very popular because like the beats are matching up, like
Yeah.
the cadence.
Yeah, you can sort of
People.
see and feel the beat, but you can never actually hear it. So
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I have my
You
favorite.
will be.
I have my favorite thing that I did this week now.
No, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't I?
You will be. I may have taken things a step
Right.
too far.
Wait, am I not fine?
No, you are fine. Everything is fine.
Nearly walked into that trap.
everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Okay.
Here, just hands you
Mars
water.
Gerhardt was never here.
Here, just drink.
Yep.
Drink the water.
Please tell
Okay.
me Lars
Yeah.
Yep.
Gerhard is one of Liv's crew members.
He is now.
Yep. No, they're following commands
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
she's sitting with them. Yeah, just you should come out of it in a little bit. It'll be fine.
Okay. It's fine. It doesn't bother me.
So I'm really curious now. We know what we've been experiencing. What spirit quest has Naughty been on?
I mean, I don't think it's that severe. I think they're just really vibing right now.
Yeah, they're just like in their lane, vibing, thriving, doing whatever, doing
Yeah.
their brain work.
The thing about hallucinogens is generally you lose control of certain inhibitions usually. And that's kind of what happens. Your subconscious bubbles up, and that's where a lot of hallucinations come from. So in Naughty's respect, that means that everything that they're constantly holding back and not say, it's just kind of coming up. And that's what everybody's saying. So I think, as far as they're concerned, they're just vibing, and they don't realize what they've done.
See, I have hallucinations without mind-altering substances. I would be very interested to find out what would happen if I were to consume some.
I would strongly not recommend it.
I know. I'm just really curious now.
Not outside of very controlled conditions.
Yeah. They have mind-altering drug therapies. It's fine.
Oh, absolutely. And like, I'm all for that. I don't, and the few times that I've taken it, things have happened. Anyway, but yeah, they are absolutely chill, very relaxed.
Yep. Tala's just staying with them.
Yep.
Making sure they hydrate and just seeing them through this.
I have the idea in my head that Naughty is oh god, what's the term? I heard it literally last Saturday. The term for someone who has a very hard time visualizing things in their mind. Like you try and imagine an apple and you can't actually imagine the shape.
Yeah. Right. Interesting. I think that might be accurate.
And so their hallucination is just their mind going for a wander because they can't actually like imagine the hallucination effect.
Aphantasia.
Aphantasia, that's it.
Yeah, because
Jack
has aphantasia.
I'm going off the notion that Tala started off very light, and at light levels you don't get visual hallucinations.
Yeah. But there is, and this is obviously up to you entirely because it's your character, not mine. But there is sort of the implication to me that they might be aphantasic, and also just like that's just kind of how they process hallucinogens. Vibe.
It's not impossible. I would say that's very possible. Anyway,
that's just the vibe that I get.
Yeah. But yeah, they just sort of chill for the rest of the time. Not a bad experience for them at all.
How long does it take them to come out of it?
That depends. Coyote can last hours upon hours, potentially.
Days.
Like standard, I am by no means...
Concentration of viscaline is typically highest at the sides of the peyote button. The effects last about 10 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
Zen gets a message over mental link. Okay, I screwed up. I'm sorry. I didn't think it through. I will next time.
No, she won't.
We can't individual message on this thing.
Yeah, the Raven's call is basically just all of you being in a Skype call.
Yep.
Zen won't be as laughing as hard as I am. I'll just go. Every experience is a lesson to be learned.
You want to give them something to make them sleep. Just knock them out.
All right, that's probably a good idea. I love that Naughty's hearing all this too.
Yeah.
Well, she's just vibing, so that's fine.
I'd like to remind everyone that I need the mental link in order to work.
Yeah, so we have to.
I was waiting for that.
Oh crap!
As much as I really, really want Naughty to just zonk out and enjoy their evening, I
give them
Our communication system is
another
not
hour.
yet developed enough that we can use it to facilitate our conversation outside of this link.
give them
I'm okay.
just chill out and everything will be fine.
I
I'm
feel
tr-
like I'm gonna pull the pin on this grenade because Liv does not know Naughty well enough to not say this. So Liv is the one that goes, "You're sort of muttering all of your inner thoughts."
Everything goes quiet.
Oh.
Sorry, what?
It was very distracting. That's so much better.
What?
Thank you.
Every
It's been
experience,
a constant train of thought.
every experience is a lesson to be learned. Zen just replies
Um,
again.
Oh.
I think that's a really good button, Shawnee.
Yes, I do believe that moment right there with the O coming from Naughty is where we're gonna end.
Oh, can't wait for that bomb to explode.
The decreasing volume O's. Say goodbye, everybody.
That's a perfect bookend.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.